Hey VC, Crazy Jimmy coming at you with another video. Today is going to be a guided by voices video. This will be the second one in a series of several. I'll probably show my entire collection over a series of about 10 to 12 videos, depending. But this one here is going to focus on some 7 inches, some EPs, 7-inch EPs by Guided by Voices. Just the output from Guided by Voices, I mean, they've released a ton of material over time, but what I'm going to show you today is like their sweet spot material, basically from 1993 to 97, as far as EPs and 7-inch singles go. So I'll show you a few selections, some of the rare ones from there, some of the ones that you probably don't see too often, but definitely the sweet spot for me for Guided by Voices is the material between 91, I want to say 91 and 98 is probably the sweet spot for me, although I love, all their output, especially the early output from the 80s and very early 90s and even 98 on up. Love that output as well. Not so much into like the very latest stuff. I like it, but I don't have a ton of it. I pretty much cut off my collecting at the reunion albums in, I want to say 2012, but I do still enjoy pretty much everything that Robert Pollard or Bob Pollard, however you want to call him, will put out. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to start with a split single that Guided by Voices did with Cobra Verde, which is right here. I'm not sure if it's Verde or Verdi, but this features, Cobra Verde features Doug Gillard, who played guitar with the band Guided by Voices, pretty much hooked on with them from, I believe, Mag Earwig, from that album on, and really upgraded, not that Mitch Mitchell was bad, he wasn't, but really upgraded the guitar work from Tobin Sprout and Mitch. Like I said, they weren't bad, but Doug was definitely had a little more chops than those two. But this is the single, the split single they did, each doing each other's songs. So Guided by Voices did Aim Correctly in Orange Jacket, and Cobra Verde did Terrorist here. So but really killer tracks. I love the Guided by Voices tracks on here. Orange Jacket and Aim Correctly are fantastic songs. I actually like all three, but the Guided by Voices songs are my favorite. Comes with a little catalog insert. This is on Or Records. So let me show you this one. This came on standard black, but there was also some rare colored versions. And this is the baby blue marbled version. So pretty cool. Not sure how many were pressed on this one. Maybe 100 or so, but I could be wrong there. I know it was fairly limited, but there is that. Next, one of my favorites from the band as far as EPs go, and I actually have, like, this is right in the sweet spot. But this is an EP, Get Out of My Stations. And there it is. And this has a neat 7 tracks on it. I'll show you the back. And this one's numbered. This is one of the rare ones. This is number 56 out of 100 pressed on colored vinyl, which is right here. I'll show you. So my understanding is there was only 100 pressed on translucent green. So there it is. There's the label as well. But this has some really kick-ass tracks on it. These are real legendary tracks. Scalding Creek, Mobile, Melted Melted Pat, which it has just incredible Revolver-esque, Beatles-esque melody to it. Queen of Second Guessing, which is really cool, like acid, lo-fi acid rock. Dusty Bushworms, a great lo-fi bedroom pop song. Spring Tiger, more the same. And Blue Moon Fruit. So just really, just a brilliant EP. And then speaking of EPs, let's move on to another absolutely brilliant EP, and that would be Static Airplane Jive. This one here, I think, is from '93, and the beauty of this one is there was only a very small handful pressed of this color. It's numbered 998, but like they pressed a pinkish white, and you can kind of see it there. In very limited quantities. I think maybe 100 of these were done. So the last 100 in the run, so probably 900 to 1,000 are of this color. So pretty tough one to find. The tracks on here too, every single song on this is fantastic. So this has their classic Big School, Damn Good Mr. Jam, Rubberman, Hey Aardvark, which is very Paul McCartney-esque, Glowboy Butlers, which is, lo-fi pop and post-punk kind of mixed together in a blender. Just a brilliant song. And Gelatin Ice Cream Plum, another great lo-fi pop rock song. So just a brilliant EP, and it's absolutely essential in my mind. All these EPs are. Next up is a split with Jenny May, and this is one of their more popular splits. This is the second pressing, and the reason I'm showing the second pressing is this has their legendary song If We Wait, and the reason I'm showing the second is because it's on this really cool, like periwinkle, grayish periwinkle marbled vinyl. It looks better in person. You can kind of see some different flecks in there, but really cool, vinyl. And I love the second pressing and that it came on this colored wax. So another pretty rare item. Next up is, I actually have two of these because one is signed and one isn't. This one's numbered. This is from '97. And it features 3 great tracks. And one of them is numbered, as you can see. I think it's, on the back, sorry. There. And then this one is signed by Pollard up top. He signed a bunch of these. And I think the signed one is a colored wax as well. But all 3 tracks on this are just fantastic. Really good screaming tracks. One of them's like this vicious, like pop punk song and let me just show you this. Really cool, pretty, like violet purple color. Really neat. And the numbered one is the colored one. The other one I think is standard black, if I remember correctly. Let me go ahead and pull out the track list on this. So this had Wish in One Hand, which was, that's what it's called. It's Wish in One Hand EP, but the song Teenage FBI is on this. The original version of Teenage FBI is on here. It's basically the 4-track version, which is really good. And then they re-recorded it for Do the Collapse in '99. Now I'm Crying is on this, a really good Paul McCartney screamer, and Real, which is also very Paul McCartney-esque. There's the insert. So as you guys probably know, if you're a fan of Guided by Voices, you know Bob was a huge Beatles fan, loved Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and Harrison, and just loved his Beatles. All right. Up next from '96, Plantations of the Pale Pink. This is a really underrated EP in my mind. This is on this beautiful, like, translucent orange, which I'll show you. This one's really underrated, though. I love every song on it. And this has got more of an acid psych sound to it. So if you like that acid psych sound of the 60s, I think you'll find a lot to like on this. Systems Crash, Cat Food on the Earwig. The Who versus Porky Pig, just a fantastic song. Life in Finer Clothing. The Wearing Song in Subtle Gear Shifting. So all these are pretty much exclusive to this album. Of course, you'll find some of these on their Suitcase CDs and so forth. But this is just, I love every track, all 6 tracks on this, and it's so underrated. I don't think this gets the love it deserves. And you can actually get these for a pretty good price right now. They typically sell for around $15-20, if I remember correctly. So definitely want to pick one of these up when you can. Next up is a great EP called I Am the Scientist. Of course, I Am the Scientist is from B1000. The version of I Am the Scientist on this is different than the version that's on B1000. I actually like the version on this better. It doesn't have that echo or delay. That's I don't know if it's slap back, but I'm not sure what you call it. But there's like an echo to his vocals on the B1000 version, and on this one it's more in your face. It's cleaner, but at the same time it has that lo-fi grit. So really good. And then this is known for, this has all 4 tracks are great, but Do the Earth is just a classic Guided by Voices song. How can I explain Do the Earth? It's got melodic hooks. I would call it like a post-punk pop song. Tons of melody. Vocals are fantastic. One of his better vocals on that song. So it's just, and the lyrics are just amazing. I mean, Bob's lyrics are always great. But that's a great 4-song EP. And then another stunner of an EP is this one here. This is Fast Japanese Spin Cycle. It's on standard black vinyl. I do not think this was pressed on any colors. But this one, I believe it has 7 tracks. But every single song on this is absolutely classic. It's got Volcano Divers, Indian Fables, Marchers in Orange. A lot of these tracks are different too. Like Marchers in Orange is on Vampire and Titus. But the Marchers on this EP is different. It's recorded differently than what you've got on Vampire and Titus. It's actually cleaner on this one. But it's still got that grit. It's still got that dust and that fuzz that I love from Guided by Voices. The best way to describe it's like a fuzz. And it's awesome. And it just adds like that psych element to every song that they put out, especially these early ones in the early 90s. I think this is from 93 on Engine Records. Fast Japanese Spin Cycle. So definitely want to get that. And then another EP that's fantastic, Clown Prince of the Menthol Trailer, right here. Another one that doesn't get its just due. There are 7 tracks on here. And the absolute classic one is the one they lead off with, Matter Eater Lad, which is like a post-punk Beatles sound. Just fantastic. You have to hear it to believe it. But there's some really good tracks on here, so check this one out as well. I do not think this was done in any colors, so just your standard black. And I want to say this one was from the early 90s, 92, 93 as well. And then the Grand Hour EP is here. This is the first press. There's 3 pressings of this. I want to say this is the translucent, it looks black, but it's translucent brown. I don't know if you can see that, but when held up to light. But this is, I think they pressed 1,200 of these. Pretty sure there's 1,200 of this one. This is the original one with the textured cover. Kind of looks like leather feels like leather. But this has On the Floor, Break Even, the song B1000. It has a song called Alien Lanes as well, which they named an album off of. It has Shocker and Gloomtown, which is a classic live track. They play pretty much every live show. And I believe the Breeders covered that song as well, among others. So really killer EP here for sure. And great use of the 4-track, as always. And I think that is it for today. Of course, there's more, but that's all we're going to show you today. I was trying to keep this one under 15 minutes if I could. But definitely, thanks for watching these Guided by Voices videos. Guided by Voices vinyl, it's one of my passions, and I'd love to share, what I have and what I know about the band to the world. But definitely tune in. There'll be more to follow for sure. And then, of course, all kinds of content. I'm going to have more videos on the Acid Archive book called The Acid Archive Diaries. Going to have some videos on 90s lo-fi independent labeled underground music. I'm going to have some post-punk 70s and early 80s vinyl to show. We'll do a series on power pop. We'll do a series on 60s and 70s psych and Americana vinyl. Also want to hit hype stickers. I'm a big collector of hype stickers on records. So like the records in the shrink with the hype sticker is a big deal to me. So I want to share some of that in a series. And then of course I started the Recommended If You Like series. The first one rolled out earlier yesterday, on Friday. And I did Big Star first and kind of went through some vinyl that I had from artists that were either A, influenced by Big Star, or B, sound like Big Star. So we'll be doing far more of those Recommended If You Like videos, because I think, as I love it, when people share like related content to bands I love, I'm sure you all do as well, because it allows you to be able to kind of go out there and listen to some snippets and decide whether you want to buy it or not. So we'll be doing more of those as well. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate everyone, and have a great weekend. Take care. Crazy Jimmy out.